priest in the Eastern Province by the name of Father Vieta Manyangandora was actually deported by that regime. The one that today wants to claim that they are friends of the Catholic Church. They deported Father Manyangandora simply for stating that the prices of cotton, groundnuts, and maize in Eastern Province were too low, and the farmers were getting a raw deal, and therefore were being impoverished despite being in high production. The father or the Catholic priest was deported by that administration that today wants to purport to be a friend of the Catholic Church. You will also recall during the gassing incidences in Chingola, where they emanated from, Bishop Kazira or Kajira, that went on radio to go and speak to the people of Chingola to ask them to be vigilant and be each other's keepers, was instead arrested by that regime and claimed that he was conducting seditious activities. And these are the people that want to claim to be friends of the church today. We have leaders of political parties whose ideologies are known the world over where they are practiced, that they do not support any iota of religious beliefs. Some of these people who are busy accusing the government, you ask them, which church do you belong to? Which congregation? Which denomination? They are atheists. And here they are accusing a president who is a non-elder in a non-church. A person we all know which church he goes to and what position he holds in that church. But look at the people accusing him. They are not atheists. They are not people involved in scandals to do with gayism and so on. Their political pacts even fall apart because one is accusing the other of admiring one another's bum or something. Doesn't hold. And today you want to turn around and try and vilify a man whose Christian principles, Christian beliefs and belongings are known by the public, whilst yours are not known. These are people who profess and want to be presidents of our country. But I want to take the opportunity to be able to look them in the eyes today and tell them that the presidency of this country is one that is chosen by God through the people. We are a Christian nation, and our leaders are chosen by God through the people. And that is why it holds in our country when we proclaim Vox Populi, Vox Dei, simply meaning the voice of the people is the voice of God. And the kind of results you get in the elections tells you that the people have rejected you, and therefore God has rejected you. There is no way they can allow you to be president in this country. So we want to pass a word of caution to these characters that are known to be bitter characters. By use of the pen, they have endeavored to try and divide the country on tribal lines, political lines, and implant hatred in the country, calling other people Baptists and all sorts of things, creating enmity amongst former long-gone presidents. Some of them may have even died being bitter enemies as a result of the writings of some of these characters today that want to claim that they are so righteous they can be president in Zambia. This government will not tolerate any iota of division. We shall continue to promote unity in our country, and we urge you to join the efforts of government in promoting unity in the country and desist from planting seeds of division in the country by always wanting to proclaim and promote negative propaganda that is aimed at planting a seed of division in the country. That you will not be allowed to do. Today we are talking, the next we are going to ensure that action is taken. And no, sir, we are not arresting anybody. Today, there are many people that are finding themselves in trouble with the law simply because they can't handle the newly found freedoms. Like I stated even last time, there is guaranteed freedom of speech, but there is no guaranteed freedom after speech. It all depends on what you say. And a lot of people are saying the wrong things that hinge on breaking the law because they're excited with the newly found freedom after having gone through 10 years. 10 years of being marooned in a place where your freedoms were taken away, especially in the last 7 years. So please enjoy the freedoms, but be responsible over the same freedoms that you enjoy. Secondly, we want to talk about the strengthening of the Kwacha that has been questioned by stakeholders and political parties and so on. And they're asking, why has the Kwacha strengthened? It is also surprising when the same people in the Kwacha weakens, they say, why is the Kwacha weakening? And when it strengthens, they say, why is the Kwacha strengthening? And they have asked us to provide reasons as to why the Kwacha is strengthening. And we have seen some sections, in some sections of the media, some political players and an ex-diplomat who wants to be president of a political party, even insinuating that, the Bank of Zambia has pumped in money into the economy. No, sir. There's no magic involved here. As you know, the exchange rate has many factors that drive it. Among them is the factor of sentiment. A negative sentiment results in a weakened exchange rate. A positive sentiment results in a positive exchange rate. Zambia has been in the news for all the right reasons in the last few weeks. You all know that the IMF came in Zambia to come and do a review of how we have fared in the last 1 year. And we reached a staff level agreement where the IMF said, all the boxes you presented before us that you will do this, you will do that, you will do that, we have ticked. You have passed 100%. And therefore, we arrived at a staff level agreement. Our Minister of Finance, our Bank of Zambia Governor, and our Secretary to Treasury were in Washington at the spring meetings. Again there, both the World Bank and the IMF used Zambia as an example to the rest of the world of what it means to have a government that is disciplined in as far as prudent utilization of resources is concerned. A government that is disciplined in ensuring that the benchmarks they set for themselves in putting the country on the path to economic recovery are not only met, adhered to, but they remain committed to ensure that they do not go astray. And we as a country were given as an example to the rest of the world of what it means to do the right thing. Those are positive sentiments. Those make investors' confidence get boosted. All those investors that were on the wire now know that the trajectory of this country is going nowhere but upwards, and therefore headed for an economic boom. They begin to position themselves. So they begin to come into the country slowly and bringing in their money to ensure that as the economic boom sets in, they are on the racing line. Number two, as you know, 31st March is still year-end for most institutions like mining houses. So the mining houses are declaring their final year taxes, and they're paying, because the final year line for most mining houses is still 31st March. And now they're paying, they're bringing in the dollars. So the positive sentiments plus what the mines are paying into the country, the Kwacha has nowhere to go but strengthen. There is no magic. So it is folly to want to begin to insinuate all manner of things, that the government has done this in order for the Kwacha. No, sir. This Kwacha is strengthening because of the discipline of this government. The mining are able to declare their final taxes for the year and pay, because this government has a stable mining tax environment or tax regime environment for the mining sector. They are no longer in the ex regime that had every year in, year out, tax regimes were changing. Every time the minister went to parliament to present the budget, the tax regime for the mines was changing. This time around, it is consistent, it is predictable. Hence, the mining houses are now able to even declare their final year taxes on time because they are in a stable environment. How about that? So before people begin to criticize, especially the opposition, take time. Take your writing pads, your notebooks, sit and learn. Watch what this government is doing. It's called fixing. You may learn something. Some of you are headed to come back into government. Some of you, as soon as 50 years from now, you'll be back in government. You might want to learn some lessons so that you use them as you bounce back in government. Thank you very much.